Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for two more episodes of Baccano, episodes 4 and 5. Excited here to jump back in and continue the mystery, see what the hell's going on. That's the goal here today, to find some clarity. That'd be good. Now listen, over this side, no YouTube comments, so I don't have much to bounce off of when kind of summarizing stuff, but I'll try my very best here to talk about what I think's going on. Now listen, that timeline, it's all over the place, so let me just kind of regurgitate things that I think are happening at least one of the earliest points. Cool. There's this guy, Barnes, I believe his name was. He seems to have something with Ennis. They know each other. He also is big into the immortality stuff. He revived a rat or something. So he's pretty switched on when it comes to that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes way, way back. And Ennis also has I guess older siblings that were also experiments in a way, almost okay, this is our first trial of making an immortal person, blah 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 blah. Either way, for random kind of really hilarious circumstances, his house lights on fire and then he's running away with the formula. That's when he gets kind of pulled over by Dallas, and then he gets saved by Firo, but then Dallas still gets back up and eventually gets the stuff. And Ennis is in there somewhere as well. That seems like an important scene. I don't know. I'd place that right at the beginning of the timeline based on who knows who. That's my biggest kind of clue there. Other things we know about Dallas as well is that he's been missing and is now vowing revenge. So I think his brother and father died, and he's very big into the whole mob family, get my revenge, I'm a big shot kind of guy stuff. So bodes poorly, I don't know. Again, and then at the very end of the timeline, IMO, we're looking for him in the Hudson River. So I don't know. Can't go good. I don't know. And that's not even including any of the flying pussyfoot stuff. So something's happening there. I believe we're transporting a bomb of some kind, a special artifact. There's also a coup, not a coup, like a hostage situation almost, where the Lemurs want to get onto the train and take that train hostage to get Huey out of jail. And then he's also immortal, I think, too. And in the middle of that, we have Isaac and Miria doing their whole shtick. So, needless to say, there's a lot of things to jump onto. Hopefully a lot of that stuff will come back to me as I start watching episode 4 here as well. Either way, that was a lot of rambling, but before I do anything else, I should shout out the Patreon. There's a Patreon. It's linked in the description below. You can get episodes 1 week early, $6 a month. Very, very cool. Big thanks to many people, such as Mickey Babbers, AJ, Akamancer, Banana Ram Hamadama Sama, Bisa, Capella, Chobaribi, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Flo Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Yako Yavanen, Jummy Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Nosta, Cod Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Miru, Minted, Mistake El Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nailu, Panic, Pencil Sharp 333, Ronlight B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Kelvin, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, and Aiden O'Brien. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. And yeah, we're already all set up. Might as well get episode 4 up and going, and we'll jump right in. Let's do it. Radio, I have the episode up there ready to go, episode 4, with a 24 minutes and 40 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I've also, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but we're not going to run into any blue screen stuff anymore. Hopefully we've evolved beyond that with the method. There was a whole method, it was in Discord. So good, we should be fine. Fingers crossed. Either way, picture-in-picture version in the description below. I'm using the DVD version if you want to sync up with your own version. And again, I think that's very close to the MTBB subs. Either way, let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Baccano. So why did they flip a coin there? Was it to who gets to wear which costume? Did they both want to be Santa or something? That's kind of fun. I'm very keen to see where we jump back in here as well. Might be in the middle of the whole like things just started to explode with the flying pussyfoot, so maybe that's where we'll choose to put our attention immediately. There's also, and I always forget her name. God. Nah, I don't know it. The Genoward, the young lady. We'll see the name here. There's her stuff where she's kind of following the trail of Dallas. Or maybe we jump to a completely different character. That could be fun too. Oh, bit of a whatchamacallit flashback. Last time on. He's like, later. Hello, Jacuzzi Splot. Eve. I knew it started with an E. I wanted to say like Elon or something, which was incorrect. 1931. Gonna need to be more specific there, though. Okay, I know where we are. It's like, oh yeah, we didn't prepare machine guns. That's very funny. Oh, he's skipping. Lad. Doki doki. Okay, 10 hours previous in Chicago. Huh? Oh no, so this has ramifications. Sidaris? Maybe Lad. Oh. So we're chasing those guys as well. Oh. Uncle, gotcha. Ojiki? I like him a lot. I don't know. Maybe that makes me a bad person, but. What? Throat slashed. But it's true. It's a pretty good use. You can only count on me. Indeed. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've got a pretty, what would you say, sparse plan. It's not, whoa. Well, I mean, I don't think she does. Lua. I don't think it's fixing anything. Lato. Okay. Okay. I mean, no, I think he's got a pretty good idea right now. Bang. No. Gotta look our best. Ha ha ha. It's a pretty good line to bring the scene all together. Alright, it's starting. Okay. That was quick. You know what else contrasts with the white? The black are the suits of the lemurs. I don't trust this evil man. You've kind of weirdly got the same purpose, just for like different goals. Okay, that was kind of sick. Okay, let's go. You won't shoot your own guy? Turning your back's crazy too. I've heard that line before. Teleports under you. Insane. What? Okay. Bit of fisticuffs. Jack Johnson, the singer-songwriter? Okay, they're boxers. Gotcha. I know him, I know him. Yeah, trust. I think you got him. Kiss. Oh. Who the fuck's Huey? I don't give a fuck about Huey. Ooh, packing, you say? Here comes the blood. I don't know, does it say something about me that I just, like, am kind of endeared to a character like this? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't need to see his face. Oh, thanks. What could you even possibly hope to do? Somehow get off the train, right? Pardon? Sesla, what are you doing? Yeah. I was about to say there was a pretty long stretch of the episode, or the show thus far, that was just with one guy. And now we're back with Eve. I disagree. I think he found the immortality juice and is doing some shit. Ooh. But you do know something. Indeed. We knew that. Good point. President. I can't say anything. I'm not saying it though. Okay, so this guy's onto it. Who's the president? I thought that guy was the president. The black guy. Anyway. Okay, back here. Are we gonna follow Isaac and Miriam now? Okay, yep, I'm back. They're great. I don't think you two can do that. The sound effect. Oh, the sub there is really funny looking too. Um, you're not supposed to say that you're about to pull heists. The money that's already like rubber banded up. Good job keeping in a low profile, guys. I know you're not really the violent type. Not in the same way as Lad, anyway. You can hit somebody with a baseball bat. I think in a very clever way, we're continuing to build contrast with a character that we've seen in the rest of the episode. Why did they end up being intimidated? That's funny. He does look kind of scary looking. Real Scrooge looking guy. Pretty formidable. You reckon? Oh, how protective. How are they not caught yet? Only 87 times. I love it when I'm smart. It is less than 100. I'll give you that. Maybe not Miami. Oh, your skin will get all crinkly. Yeah, another good point. 10 stoves. Pardon? When have I ever lied to you, Miria? The Joker? Oh. Well, that didn't last long. Oh, hell no. Wonder who hit them. Guess we'll find out later. Again, almost like religious, right? Like this must be something in our way to get to Huey, which is the overall grand goal. She will do what needs to be done. She will only live until tomorrow anyway? So Anna's hit them with a car. Who's this freak? Is that Barnes? Because, yeah, he got his ass beat, then he came back. Don't think it is, though. Okay. Lost his senses. Well, I mean, yeah. Weird cut. Yeah. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. And now we're back here. I remember a character from the opening. I think it's that guy. I forget his name. Oh, Slizzard or whatever. It's that guy. Okay, we're in. I'm knowledgeable. And we have some like secret, super secret stuff. Codes. Little dance, little jig that you have to do to get in. Quietus. Oh, not that long for me anyway. Oh, look at the conehead guy in the back. Interesting. Not the sturgeon. No way. Okay, well, we got like the good shit. The Grand Panacea. He was just finishing it up before everything else happened. Yes. Barnes may die, which I'm forgetting. Did he die last week? I'm forgetting, if I'm honest. Indeed. Again, Dallas, bit of a hothead. I don't think it's sake. You have no idea. Now, see, what I want to know is, does he drink some? And then, of course, Fiero. Yep. Okay, bye. But she dropped a little dealie. Just a little button or something on the code, is it? Okay, niece. We're back. So they kept going, what the fuck was that? There's a demon on the side of the plane? You have to believe me? Excuse me? Who on earth is the demon? Now, that lady with, like, the bandana, she went, like, under the train. I thought that was a little bit odd in the moment. Because they're going back to follow Jacuzzi or whatever, right? Also, the object is down that way as well, but they don't know that. Cool. Again, just stuff to keep in mind next episode. Really weird one. We kind of were just with Lad for like a solid almost 10 minutes. Which is good. I mean, I like Lad, but allowed us to get a bit of focus. After that, it was like, go, 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 go. Everything's happening. The most, what would you say, elucidating stuff was there towards the end. We now have this kind of secret society, Ennis, that guy. We have his angle too. At least a little bit more. Ugh. I really like the CD. It's very simple, but the song's really quite nice. I enjoy it. And once again, yeah, we're not going to be doing no next time on for an episode I'm about to watch. So let's just get episode 5 up right now. Let's go. Rightio. Episode 5 up there, ready to go. 24 minutes and 41 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. Have the DVD version, MTBB subs. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below. Let's jump right in here with the 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Indeed. Quartes, let's go with. Sure. It's weird. In the past, I remember having seen this opening in isolation and not really understanding what the show could possibly be about with all these characters. Now that I'm here, it just kind of makes perfect sense. So what's interesting here is it seems that Miser's another connection into the whole Ennis immortality angle type stuff. Like, he knows this guy. Yes. Quartes. So I wonder when and if that comes up. Then Seslor as well. He said that he was an old... Or Miser said that Sessler was an old friend from memory, so... I remember. It was mere moments ago. What does he mean by, I can use these guys? Oh yeah, the rail tracer. Is that what the demon was? But the rail trace is just a story. It's just a figment. It's superstition. And I mean, Dallas ends up drowning if that's anything to go by, so... 1931. Back on the train? No. This is before everything. I see. I got a feeling here. Let's see if what I think happens happens. That's him. Oi. But you are. I'm seeing like a form change coming or something. I'll say that. Head ventilated. It's that or he gets saved. Because those two guys, we found one of them and they were mangled. That's what we learned from the other episode, right? And remember there was a demon on the side of the train. I'm wondering if that was Jacuzzi himself. Maybe not. Never mind. I was on, so I was there for a second. Now, scratch all that. Did he? Oh, he did. No, that's not a train robbery. You have to go there on a train and then do a robbery and then escape again on a train. Why is the other guy dead? I forget that. Alright. Jacuzzi, dude, you're really pissing me off. Something happens here, though. Is it like Nice to the rescue or something? Or who's going to be like brutal? Nakama? I like the sky there. Okay, so you've got a little bit of a friendship there from their small interactions. Okay, very heroic. I don't want to kill you if I don't have to. Well, there you go. Sans from Undertale. Okay, a whole army of Undertale men. Alright, the whole gang's here. What? Okay, alright. I was like, what the fuck? Bomb. Knife bomb? Alright, the bros pulled up and then we just fucking exploited the fuck out of everybody. So that's where the brutality came in. Again, it really feels like Jacuzzi's just been like brought along here when he's really out of his depth. Hello, Barnes. My name's Ennis. Now, question. How do you kill Barnes? Homunculus. My brothers. Created. That egghead guy's crazy. Pardon? What are you talking about? Interesting. Alright, he can. Alright, he can just murk dudes. Just slurp him on up. I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of. A few things. Wonderful. However, so now it's time to find our boy Dallas. Oh, weird. Yeah, because she's a homunculus? Or can you do that to anybody? Okay, bye. Evil secret society. Oh, cool shot. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. Anyway. Interesting. He just vacuumed up a guy. That's pretty interesting. Interesting. I like the transition here between one character looking for Dallas then, and then another character looking for Dallas now. Okay, he cold. Cold as hell. You can't get shit done either. Jesus. So you don't even know the vague information? The Daily Days strikes once again. He's right, you know. Who's this Inspector Gadget looking motherfucker? Ugh. Is this the senator, is my question. Okay. So you're willing and able to give up your soul to be immortal. Cool. And yeah, we have a distinguish... We're distinguishing between, like, invulnerable to damage and eternal youth. Of course I can. Sure. He needs a suit that fits him, though. Arbitrarily snuffed out? That's kind of hard. I like that line. His limbs are doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. Ooh. Interesting. I'm in, dude. Organized crime? It's never been so attractive. What is he going to do with the gun? Said something about taking your own life in your left hand. Okay, we might be doing like some cut the finger off type stuff. Okay. She doesn't know. Interesting. Because he's like, I can use this. Alright, they're back. Sup? Indeed. That's me. Hello, Goose. Silly Goose. Interesting. All right, now we're back again. Gustavo. I'm looking at this Inspector Gadget looking guy. He's freaking me out. Guns. Oh, we came prepared this time. He's very fun too. I like him. Oh. Incidental information. Ooh. Interesting. Scumbag. I mean, it's kind of comes with the territory. It's hard to say scumbag. It's kind of him doing his job. All right. What are we doing, boys? When is this? Oh, this is back in the day. Yeah, okay. This was before. Gotcha. Okay. Just a knife fight. Nothing crazy. Ooh. Now, Fyodor, he hasn't lost a fucking fight at all. He's crazy. Ooh. Youch. Knives are sharp. Again, Fyodor hasn't lost, man. He's crazy. Alright, can we get some medical attention, please? Oh. Oh. I guess I knew that already. Bang. Ooh, interesting gambit from the wife here. Hang on. We need a hero? Oh, we don't need a hero, we're fine. Fatigues. We're still not any closer to figuring out who the fucking vampire is outside. The demon. Watch out, Goose. There's a fucking demon out there. So I need to go back to episode 4. Is that who it was? There was like, no, there was like blood though. The music is crazy. Who the fuck is she? Anyway. Yes, sir. Huh? What was that? Instantly? I think he's done, man. Fucking Batman? The rail tracer. Question. Can we believe our eyes here? Because the show is supernatural. It has, like, crazy stuff in it, right? Like, you know, it's not a non-fiction retelling of something that's happened in real life. Is there just a ghost? Is there just a fucking actual dead-ass vampire ghost alien murderer freak on the side of the train killing people? I mean, jury's still out. I don't know. There's a lot of fucking moving pieces there on that train, man. It's hard to keep track of it all. And one thing I keep coming back to, and again, I don't know if I'm supposed to know this or it's going to be a name reveal later or something. Do we know a Claire? Claire was mentioned in episode 1. I really want to go back and check that because, like, I don't see no Claire. Anyway, I don't know what to say really. I was completely off in the beginning. I thought that I honestly thought that the jacuzzi was going to like change forms into something or something like that was going to happen. No, he just had his cronies. So they seem pretty into it. Jacuzzi's definitely not, and it's kind of just been dragged into it. It's kind of the vibe. IMO. Anyway, next time on the Rail Tracer. That's Dallas and Thingo. Luck. Ooh, interesting. And yeah, I think we'll leave it there for tonight. Definitely a lot to jump off of or onto in the next section. Yeah, a few mysteries, a few things I'm unsure of, but a lot of clarity as well. It's definitely I'm a bit happier in the clarity department this week than I was last week, I guess. So good, little clap. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you shortly, I guess. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Baccano into the ledger. They were quite good again. But I will say, over the course of, I guess, episode 1 and then episodes 2 and 3 as kind of sessions, I'm a lot more, like, calm and have a lot more clarity going on. And it's weird, because in a lot of ways that's really good, right? I'm really quite happy with that I understand things. But as a result, I feel like the pacing's dropped down a little bit, where I'm like, okay, yeah, let's get to more other stuff. There's certain parts in these 2 episodes where I'm like super into it and super into figuring out where this fits and how the mystery is going and whatnot. But there's other parts where I'm like, yep, that just perfectly makes sense, and we kind of just need to move on and do something else. Yeah, just something overall, maybe the pacing a touch off. But again, that's very nitpicky. My example here will be the first bit I talk about, right? We're kind of with Lad here. Like, let's have a look here, blah, 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 all lad, till about, like, the midpoint of the episode. That's a lot of lad all at once. Now listen to me, I like some lad, but this is getting ridiculous. Come on now. The other part being that I don't see him as a particularly crucial part of the story as it stands right now. Not compared to somebody like Dallas or Theodore, who are a little bit more central. Or even Ennis. Ennis has a lot of, I don't know, you wouldn't call it pathos yet, but there's ability for that in the future, I would say. Yeah, I mean, he's a riot. He's a great time. It's just maybe he connects in better later. But for right now, it's just kind of like, I guess we're doing something for my mob family, but mostly because I'm just like a psycho guy. I think finding out more about Lua Klein will enhance that a little bit more, maybe, too. Because that'll put some, at least an actual human in his scenes where, other than that, he comes across as very not human and kind of a cartoony as a result. I feel like I've come in here very negative, but like the episodes were great. I had a wonderful time, so like, I don't know. I guess that's the most like pertinent thing to talk about. The content is so good otherwise overall that it kind of doesn't even need to be repeated almost. Anyway, it's going to be a weird one because there are long kind of stretches like that where I won't have ultimately all too much to say. Maybe again some production stuff will stand out. Overall thus far production wise I would say it's just kind of pretty good. It's more a conduit for the story rather than standing out on its own kind of 2 feet. Like, I mean, compare it to something I'm watching at the moment in City, the animation, which is completely all production all the time, and that is one of the main reasons you're watching it, to see how outrageous that kind of stuff gets. Or other stuff I've watched in the past, Flip Flappers, and like, I don't know, even Monogatari to some extent. That stuff is like that's like the moment-to-moment stuff that keeps you going. Otherwise, this is just a little bit safe. It's good, though. It's good. I don't know. I'd like a little bit more kind of pizzazz going on there. Maybe again we'll get to a few more actiony scenes and I'll perk up a little bit more. Once again, very negative. I don't mean to be. I really don't. Anyway, let's jump back through here. Let's talk some lad for a while. So where are we in the timeline? The kind of shootout has just begun on the Flying Pussyfoot in the dining cart between the Lemurs and between Lad's gang. Lad is excited at the prospect of hearing murder and wants to go watch, basically. He's even excited at his little friend Vicky getting murdered, potentially. That's something that he gets off on that, too. I don't know, just a lot of death. He loves death. Now, listen, I do love the moment here where he hears machine guns and he's like, oh, that isn't just us. Okay, there's more people here. That's very exciting. And then he hears screams and he sees people running away and then he starts skipping gleefully towards the scene. Again, bit on the nose, but you can definitely see where his kind of priorities lie when it comes to this kind of stuff. He is a gawker. He wants to go in and have a good look. He's a connoisseur. Episode title, Lad Russo enjoys talking a lot and slaughtering a lot. That's most certainly true. After that small intro, we have a kind of, I don't know, words on the screen, interstitial. It says 10 hours ago in Chicago. So again, the Flying Pussyfoot is going from Chicago to New York. This is before they board the Flying Pussyfoot. We connect this even better when we hear that a pair of robbers wearing Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb uniforms robbed some criminal family. Of course, us the audience, we know who that is. That is, of course, Isaac and Miria. Interconnected. That's a nice little moment there. I like that. And yeah, we have this family here whose name escapes me at the moment. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come to me. More pertinently, we also get a little clue here. This will be the start of the next episode, right? We put a person named Sidaris on a job to go find Jacuzzi's plot. And now we've seen that scene as well. Jacuzzi didn't do anything. I thought that this would imply that Jacuzzi did something, especially once oh shit, this guy got mangled. What was left of him barely looked even human. So like, that's crazy. Who the fuck did that? I don't know. Then I was putting together some crazy theories like Jacuzzi was the person on the side of the train or something. That's just plainly false now. But yeah, as it turns out, it's just kind of Jacuzzi's mates that end up doing this. Again, we see the scene play out there before. I will say, seeing Lad out of his kind of trademark white suit is a little bit disturbing. But here he is, the young psycho, and I guess he's nephew to this uncle that seems to be in charge of things. Character traits for Lad, I don't know, he's very talkative, as we've talked about before. Very confident, jokey, when things shouldn't be joked about, he is joking. I don't know. He's got a couple fucking screws loose, and he loves fucking murder and blood and stuff. He's not one of the great fucking multi-layered characters of all time. He just kind of sees person, kills person. Also loves repetition. We saw him before. He was like, yabai, 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 when he was on the train there before, and now he's doing the whole squeeze thing. Squeeze, 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 as he kills one of these lackeys that were unable to do their job, and they're reporting to the uncle here poorly. Anyway, I get the feeling he just goes around and murders people with impunity just because it's something he likes. He's gleeful in doing so, absolutely. Yep, that's what killing someone looks like. Very, very cool. Oh yeah, simply just the Russo family. I don't know why that escaped me. Sure. I do like how he just slashes the other guy's throat too. No funny business with the squeezing, just go straight for the most efficient method. Either way, from there we get on to Lad's idea, which I'm going to say is flimsy at best. He's going to hop onto this train and maybe hijack it, and maybe start kidnapping people, and maybe start killing whatever gets us more notoriety and more money out of this thing. If it's some blackmail, if it's some hostage situation type stuff. I don't know, he's just going to go in there with a lot of gumption, and not really a plan, and just see what eventuates, with the overall goal of killing and making money. Those are the two things that he wants to do. And this seems premeditated. He walked in here with this plan of something to suggest, so sure. It was just kind of random happenstance that he's also going to be helping his family in doing so, i.e. Isaac and Miria there. They're obviously wanted, or at least enemies of the Russo family, as well as Jacuzzi Splont, who I'm imagining we're just chasing for the money. He's worth $5,000. So, again, Lad's cognizant of that. Lad saw him pass and sent Lua and some other bloke down to follow Jacuzzi. That's where we're jumping off on that. We don't really know much more there. Either way, Lad at the moment doesn't seem attached into the immortality stuff at all. At least not that I remember, so that's weird. He's very separate. Then he has his whole big Joker monologue about how it's really fun to kill people that are not expecting to die, seeing that moment where it kind of changes from like, oh, I'm going to be okay, over to, oh, I'm literally about to die. That's very pleasurable for Lad. Again, voice actor's absolutely killing it, selling the character, doing all the stuff that we need to do here. I should mention that he's got his whole gang behind him now as well, all the people that we saw in the white, as well as Lua. This in itself is also a little bit of a power play. Of course, this is kind of criminal, families, underbelly type stuff, mafia. It's a power grab. He's also saying, hey, just settle down. I could kill you whenever I wanted to kill you. You're nothing to me, right? I'm a murdering maniac that's very powerful and strong and stuff. I kill people with my bare hands. Who are you to me? Can you really say that? It's a bit of a power play. That's what he's trying to do here too. Like, you'll let me do whatever I want. You'll let me get away with my big old train scheme that I'm planning. Which again, that's the trick there. He pulls the trigger on the gun and nothing comes out. Anyway, still got you to scream and look shocked and stuff. I still won the day, basically. I little broed you. This is a really cool line, though. Probably like an overall memorable line from the show, I would say. The white we wear will contrast with the blood. Cool, huh? Yeah, that's why they all wear the white. It's because, it's this point of contrast to, the murder we're going to do and the bloodshed and the... Again, it's all to talk about the same thing that he was talking about with the uncle before. Who are the people he likes to kill the most? Those that don't expect it. It's built upon the subversion. You're not meant to want to get the white clothes dirty. You're meant to want to keep them clean and pure and stuff. I'm dirtying my white clothes the same way that I'm, dirtying their souls and dirtying my own. And yeah. It's kind of clever. I like the metaphors at play, and the line itself is full of aura. Very, very cool. Either way, back on the flying pussyfoot, Vicky, I believe his name was, is getting absolutely murked here. Important to note, we see Lady in fatigues climbing outside of the train. We'll briefly see her again. She's in kind of pursuit? Something's going on with Chain or whatever it was. Yeah, they've got something. She's clearly got a story we'll discover later that she is also executing at the time, which is meant to be pretty, opaque at the moment. I will say we do know that she makes it out, so keep that in mind going forward. Now, my memory's escaping me. Is she also the one that's, like, picking apart these guys later on, or is that the rail tracer? I thought it was the rail tracer because he gets really scared because there's, like, a real-life demon ghost outside. I thought that was it. Anyway, I think she's just hanging out outside. Ooh, now Lad thinking on his feet here as he walks in. He kind of sees Vicky already dead. This almost reminds me of Isaac. It's very much like, again, think on your feet. Snake oil salesman, like, fast talker. What's the example here? That new Star Wars game? I heard it wasn't very good. Outlaws. There was one thing that intrigued me in it, though. When you're caught, you can kind of activate fast talk mode and, like, try to talk your way out of a situation, essentially. I thought that was a really cool mechanic, and it's kind of what Lad's doing here. Again, what is the episode title? Lad loves to talk, he loves to slaughter. That's his thing. So again, that gives him just enough time, kicks the gun up here, fires the machine gun over the shoulder, shooting his friend. Dead. Very, very cool. Or not so dead because he walks away. But anyway, I would have been dead, but anyway. Just, loads of great lines. Once again, he is a lot like Isaac. Just kind of like evil Isaac, I would say. Like, this guy essentially says, oh, if you guys cross us in our gang, you die. And he's like, oh, that's weird. I've heard that line many, many times before. Never really eventuated. I've always come out okay on the other side. Some of the boxing references here are fun too. He definitely loves his good old-fashioned fisticuffs. And yeah, it probably is the closest we get to, like, I don't know, straight up, like, pretty cool pieces of animation too. Like, there's some interesting angles on the fighting here and the punches taken and stuff. Like, yeah, that's a cool angle specifically. I like the camera here. Once again, kind of the fusion of the music and the editing and the shots and everything gives the show its personality. It's the stuff we come to watch when it comes to Baccano. I feel like Baccano is something that you could parody, which I guess gives a lot of credence to its creativity and stuff, right? And to its choices. You can make a pastiche of it and you would know what it is. Again, my mind's kind of failing me at the moment, but there are many, many characters like Lad in fiction, these kind of people that dance between the lines of affection and kind of endearing and madness and mania and, like, masochism almost. Like, he's doing a good job at it. That's my point. I like coming in here to almost like an embrace in the middle of the fight here. This guy on his, like, last legs, just giving him a little look in the eye just before we do the rest of the deed. And yeah, knuckles in the eye is a great touch there too. Kind of going from there to just, like, bang. Very, very good. And then the lad goes full gorilla mode. It's kind of talking to what he was saying before with his uncle, right? I like killing people that didn't know that they were about to die. It's all about the unexpected. It's all about that kind of rug pull, right? So you guys, all high and mighty, big old gang, got all these machine guns on this train. The last person you expected to see was me, and the last thing that you expected was to die from another person on the train. So I'm taking glee in enacting my dream, right? My most favorite type of kill. And yeah, after seeing that eruption, the momentary pause earlier where we stopped and talked to him and the music kind of cut out for a second, it becomes a little bit more pronounced now why we did that. And the kind of jazzy drums playing here, it's all just flowing really well. Really good fight scene. Kind of peaks, kind of plateaus for a second, peak again. A couple more interesting things as we finish that scene there. Once again, half the episode, which is a little bit weird. It just definitely stands out in the context of the show. Anyway, the wife, the senator's wife, Barium or whatever, we say that, hey, we're going to come back for you after we finish killing the people in the black suits, right? So, like, you're still going to die, essentially. You're a big, important figure. Again, killing you, holding you ransom, suing the rail company, doing all sorts of stuff there. Will net us money and will net me kills, and that's great. I like to see that. More importantly, this is what I want to talk about. What do you mean I can use those people, says Law? What does that mean? Again, I'm sure we'll find out more. This show is only increasing more and more with its supernatural powers and abilities. We're gonna say. We're certainly gonna say. After the ad break, we're back with Eve Genoard, just after exiting Daily Days, not having learnt much here about Dallas. The zoom out of there, back upstairs, is a great touch. Kind of bringing us into this conversation happening in hushed tones, kind of above the level that Eve was operating at. So hey, we're not pretending not to know anything, we're just not telling her the entire truth. So okay, let's get our information straight. The truth is that Dallas is shaking down Gustavo over his killing of the head of the Genoard family. Fair enough. I'm imagining this happens at some point between when he gets the juice and now. Like the killing of the rest of the family, per se. And now Dallas is able to enact his revenge. Now, the part where they did Eve dirty was not telling her this, right? That Dallas is shaking down Gustavo. We said we know nothing, wherein, as a matter of fact, we know this. We just learnt that information, actually. Oh, now, hang on. This is where you continue to read. This is where this is important. Baltro Runarata must have some other reason for the search for Dallas. It isn't just Gustavo. He doesn't care about Gustavo. He's a meathead. We don't care about that. I think the intrigue here, where Baltro Runarata, the guy we saw in episode 1, I think where he's more into it is this immortality angle. There's even different levels of classification in this conversation, right? I want to say your name's Nick for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, he doesn't even know. He thinks that Dallas is dead. The Gandor brothers disposed of Dallas, didn't they? And then this guy's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. I wasn't supposed to imply that Dallas was still alive. Well, but I know that he died. How does it make any... Again, us, the audience, we know that the immortality juice is involved there. Yeah, even this guy starts to put together the immortality angle at least a little bit, so... If it's obvious to him, it's definitely obvious to me. Again, after the first half of the episode, us bouncing around again is quite funny. Now, with Isaac and Miria, I can't imagine this is a scene with all too much analysis, but it is a great pace change in the episode. Kind of the first half, goofy as it may be, it's still very brutal. We get to have the goofiness here without all the brutality. And again, after, a pretty wordy scene there with the whole Dallas stuff and the, immortality intrigue and whatnot. Once again, it's a lovely connecting point. We're doing this really, really well in the show. Dictating to the audience where we're picking back up from through using, repeated scenes. We've seen this interaction before just from the other side, so now we can place timeline, we can place the day that it's happening, we can also definitely place now that Theodore and Misa do not know who these two are. Oh yeah, okay, so let me play this again. We're doing something with the subs here, which I think is quite smart. Make absolutely sure not to draw any attention. And then look at this kind of like move that way. The sub kind of stays on screen over with Isaac, and then we move over to Miria, and it's like a new sub starts for her. If the whole shot was a wide and we didn't have the camera so close, there would be 2 sets of subtitles on screen for either character. It's very eye-catching in the moment. I don't know if it's on purpose, but I quite liked it. I thought it was cool. Could we do it again going back once more? Yeah, again, if VLC doesn't want to turn it into some analog horror nightmare. So I honestly don't know what the play here was. I think they wanted to be intimidating and little bro the store owner, but in reality he was really like scary and switched on and stoic and stuff, and we couldn't really do that. Because we're getting a bunch of hats and stuff here, and we're like, these will be perfect for our heists and stuff. Like, completely forget we came into your store and I'm paying with, money that's already bound up and stuff. It's all very suspicious. I think I mentioned in the reaction as well, and I tend to agree with myself. This is in this episode specifically to build contrast with Lad, right? So, two more like fast-talking schemer types, I guess you could say, but they wouldn't hurt a fly. Like, seriously, they're like, don't tell anybody, or what are we gonna do, Miria? It's like, I'll hit you if you do anything. Just complete child's play compared to Lad, man. Different stratosphere. Which once again goes to show why Lad is really endearing to me. He's essentially the same as these two, he just murders. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine that Lad would get intimidated with this guy's kind of look on his face as well, the little scowl that he gives. I don't think that that's his MO either. Like, if anything, they end up getting intimidated. He ends up calling out, but just for the change, and they quickly scamper away out of the store. Once again here, of course, if we actually got in a fight with that guy, of course I'd have won. Again, number one word when it comes to snake oil salesman. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have won anything. You can't fight. You can just weasel your way out of stuff. I guess you can fight with baseball bats, but that's only the real... That's the only piece of evidence we've got in there. Lovely moment here in the reaction where I guessed the punchline exactly. In all that time, have I ever put you in any danger? Only about 87 times. Used car salesman as well. 87 times? Well, that's less than 100. Hey, that's pretty good odds. Selling the dream here to Miria. We're going to live down in Miami, buy a big house. We could take a railway from the house itself to the mailbox or something. I don't know, they're perfect for each other because, you know, she's at least a little bit smarter. She does question him, but never far enough to the point where she just like comes back around and is kind of ditzy. I don't know. I feel like if this show wanted to be really, really smart, there could be a point at which Miria reveals that she's been kind of the mastermind behind a lot of this the entire time. Like, she's a lot smarter than she puts on, maybe. But again, maybe that's just me spitballing. Haven't had a good track record with predictions in this show, really. Oh yeah, I forgot that he got hit by a fucking car. That's so funny. Just like in the middle of this Joker-esque kind of spin that they're doing. Just hit with a car, why not? Either way, hit and runs aside. Here's Goose. We're back on the train, and they're like, who the fuck are these white-suited guys? Anyway... Now, a point here I wanted to note, and I did it in the reaction as well, there's almost like a spiritual, religious, ritualistic kind of bend to it, right? Framing these adversaries on the train is another one of the kind of trials and tribulations and a step in our journey to free Huey, who again has taken almost on deity status. I feel like it's an interesting direction. I hope we continue to go down it, this kind of cult-like status of the Lemurs and how we're like kind of framing a lot of what we're doing. We can't get to the heights of where Master Huey is by any normal path, after all. Oh, confirmation there as well. Shane. Gotcha. Okay. So like almost like a Japanese interpretation there. Sure. Or French, I guess you would say. Shane. Shane. So Shane here, she's a woman on a mission, but the line here that I wanted to highlight is she'll only live until tomorrow anyway. What? What do you mean by that? Does she have reverse immortality where, you know, some kind of terminal illness? Something where she knows the exact date where she's going to die? Is it curious that she shares her last name with Huey, apparently the guy that can never die? It's all very curious, I feel like, right? What do you mean by that? We do see her live until tomorrow. We do see her the next morning floating down the river. So... she's at least alive then, but I don't feel like that contradicts anything we're seeing here. Another interesting thing to note is we're building immediate contrast between Shane and Ennis. Ennis is a homunculus, which I thought was interesting. We get that confirmed later. She's also a means to an end. She's like a slave. She's almost not on the same like human rights level, according to Cortez or whatever the hell. In the process of kind of people around her gaining immortality, she's been worse off. Very, very similar here, if our reads are correct, right? So, cool transition there. I feel like those characters are kind of linked. Once again, we know that Ennis eventually will end up knowing Isaac and Miria, so this must be before they met and before they became chummy. So more events will happen here in 1930 to the point where they get chummy. We must remember also that 9 months have passed at some point where these guys are fucking gold digging, so it must happen pretty soon. Well, that's kind of curious. I didn't really interpret that this was in the past. They're still like talking about trains they were before, no? So then they were talking about a train robbery like a year later. They kind of got a bit of a thing for trains. Nice little tease here too. I don't understand young people these days, although I didn't understand what young people were thinking 200 years ago either. Hardy hardy ha. This guy's super giga mega immortal. Ever since that young pup miser lost his senses, what do you mean by that? I haven't trusted anyone younger than me. From your perspective, all the people in the world are younger than you. I haven't trusted anybody for a long time. We see that play out with the whole Barnes situation. Again, he seemed pretty loyal and pretty switched on. Quarthez here is able to, turn on a dime to go kill him. But Miser changed at some point. Miser used to be in close with them. Something changed. Miser's on a different side now. We see Miser along with the Martillos, with that whole family, with Firo and that. Is that the side that he changed to? Notably as well, Miser's still immortal. We see that play out. He gets a scar on his arm and then, it heals back. So yeah, Miser used to be involved in one side, now has moved somewhere else, still immortal. I love the contrast here as well. We have the Lemurs over the other side talking about the people in the blacks, or the people in the white suits, excuse me, and we have the people in the white suits talking about the people in the black suits. It's like on either side of the train, we're discussing who the hell these people even are. Either way, we didn't care about the details. We're here to kill, and if they're uppity about not getting killed, then of course, what are we gonna do? Kill them. So again, rendezvous back here. Let's go ahead and try to murder. To finish the episode here, we have a lot of the kind of secret society stuff, where Quarthez, enters a secret building and then does a secret code, and then he enters a place he hasn't entered in 20 years or so. I think I'm going to end up going with a Quarthez, but they're going for a bit more of a Quitez, a little bit more of a kind of Japanese rating of it. I think either way is fine. You guys know who I'm talking about. We talk here briefly about an inferior product that Sturgeon was using, the reason why he unfortunately passed away. Now I can tell you that we're going to get the real thing. We're going to get that proper good stuff, and we're going to live forever. It seems to be a distinction between the stuff we use that gives us invulnerability and the stuff that we use that gives us eternal youth. At last, we have succeeded in producing a completed product, the perfect grand panacea, which again is what Barnes was working on previous episode. As previously noted, Quarthez here says, hey, if Barnes has tasted the finished product and we know that it's legit, don't hesitate. Take him out of the picture. I haven't trusted anybody around me for many, many years. Also a lot of greed kind of into this character too. He literally sucks somebody's fucking soul through his hand later on. If that's not greed personified, then I don't know what is. Again, seemingly bad news, seemingly a domineering father figure over Ennis, a slave master of sorts, a real kind of cracker of the whip. Not a good guy. I think this guy's quite villainous, actually. I think it's kind of inhuman to want to gain immortality, actually. Now putting a few more of the pieces into place that were present already last episode, now just some confirmations. Dallas confronts Barnes after the whole shebang with Firo, kind of grabbing him. We saw that take place. Dallas now has the juice. Another good example here of a scene that kind of sets our place. I don't know, it's kind of like setting like a checkpoint or like a marker that you can come back to, right? It's like, okay, I know where we are now. Another good example here, of course, the meeting with Firo I'm referencing right here. Very cool. Oh yes, and last scene we see Nice, the big guy whose name escapes me, of course, and a demon on the side of the ship here. Now, I'm having a good look. Who does that look like? I can kind of see some hair, no? I'm just wondering if it'll be a character we know that has a form change or something, or is there literally a supernatural demon somewhere? The Rail Tracer. It's hard to say. Next episode here, we have Jacuzzi trying to talk his way out of this whole situation that he finds himself in. So the Russo family are after him. It's unsure if this is for other reasons or just for the money. And as we've seen him previously, he is characterized as being meek and frightful and not very socially confident. And again, another great point of contrast to other characters in the show, i.e. your Isaacs and your Lad Russos and your whatever, right? Who are very quick to talk and very confident. Once again, this is just asking questions, right? Like how the fuck is this guy the guy that's wanted and has a $5,000 reward on his head and is some kind of dangerous criminal with a face tattoo and stuff? Like he's like a meek child. Like how did this happen? I'm sure this question will be answered in greater detail in the narrative as we continue further. I'm seeing some kind of mistake and some kind of false identity, something, him taking the fall for somebody, him getting in with the wrong people via Nice, something like that. There's a reason behind this. It's not just he did an evil thing, I don't think. But no, it also comes from a place of loyalty as well, because otherwise Neeson, the other big guy, they would leave him here. Like, he's been compromised, blah, 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 blah. They've got guns on him. It's time to cut him loose. No, he's, like, trusted and, like, wanted and stuff, and they have his back. So, I don't know. It's a really weird one. How did he get himself into this situation? Just a quick one. I love the phrase head ventilated. I think that's quite good. Evocative. I could picture that in my head. Not that I want to. Jacuzzi Splot cries, gets scared, and musters reckless valor. Yeah. Where's the reckless valor come in? Did I forget that part? Oh yeah, no, he's saying some hero stuff here, I remember. For sure. Okay. Yeah, so Jacuzzi finds both the conductors here, both dead. Something that I didn't really think about much before. Why are they both dead? So we see here, there's one on the ground here missing an arm, which is odd, right? And then there's another one here that's dead too. So, like, I understand why one would be dead because he got shot in the head by the other one, but why was the one telling the story dead? Now, I think what we're implying here is that the rail tracer got him, or whatever that demon thing is on the side of the fucking train. So, something's happening there. It's all very odd. I don't know. That's another part of the mystery, which I didn't really fathom. Yeah, why are they both dead? Hang on. No, but that doesn't make any sense, because I know the Lua and one of the white suit people were sent down here, but they didn't pass Jacuzzi, so the timing there would never make sense. So it wasn't them, it must have been this supernatural creature. It had to have been. Now, hand up, am I just I fully interpreted the rail tracer as a piece of, like, superstition, like a scary story that you would tell somebody that's a little bit, susceptible to such things. Not something that's actually a real threat. Is this surprising to everybody else that this is an actual thing? So yes, names on these people too. Niece, obviously. She's cool. She's got an eye patch. We like that. This is Donnie, the big guy. Big guy's Donnie. Nick's the other guy here that gets kind of stolen by the black suit people. Right there. Just kind of stolen away. Which is odd. I thought that the black suit people were on the other side of the train. Maybe they're kind of spread throughout a little bit. Once they all get here, gunfire erupts. Of course, we don't really know what the go is there because we kind of just fucked off this way following Jacuzzi without seeing the whole scene play out that Nick saw play out, right? Like with the people pulling the guns and stuff. To think that the boss of the delinquents that have been giving the Russo family so much trouble was a panty waist like you. Don't know about the adjective there, but anyway. He's not the boss, Niece is the boss. We heard they called her boss previously. Why is he taking the fall for being the boss? And this line here too, like very pathetically, we're bad guys, that's for sure. Like, you seem really desperate to attain this almost like title of being, a gang and being this like kind of mafia criminal type organization, and almost something that you want to be known about you. You're not shying away from that in a way that's very obvious. There's more there. We've got to keep digging into this Jacuzzi. We're gonna strike gold one day. Well, a little bit more context there too. Selling liquor was what we were doing initially, but then you killed 8 of our men, so that started a bit of a tit for tat type thing. So at that point, we decided it was all out war with the Russo family. We kind of see a train pass in the background. He's about to get his kind of aura and hype moment where he gets his back up. In that timeline, back over here, I feel like we're mirroring these scenes and we're putting them together for a reason, right? Like, Jacuzzi... Okay, the Russo family killed 8 of our guys. Jacuzzi's then like, nah, fuck that shit. We're gonna get our, piece of flesh back. We're gonna go get our revenge. In that similar way here, we've still got a lot of honor, right? Isaac, Miriam, Mary says, all of them, they're in danger. We can't just run away. We can't just leave here. We have to go rescue them. Again, it'd be very easy for us to, take those 8 losses that we took back in the past and just, wipe our hands of the whole affair. That's too scary. Now you're going to stand by your friends. That's one of the things that Jacuzzi Splot stands for. What's the episode title? Something about mustering up courage or something. He's doing that right now. So yes, we vow to drive those people away, the people in the black suits. we're not even cognizant of the people in the white suits, as well as the rail tracer. Let's all do it together. I love the turn in the conversation here as well. It kind of changes from like, no, don't kill me, to no, Donnie, don't murder them, don't kill them. And they're like, who the fuck's Donnie? What do you mean you're telling us to get out of here? We're the ones with the upper hand here. We're the ones, in front of the gun or whatever. No, we got the big guy here. He's gonna do some fucking damage. Yeah. He's a big guy, for sure, for sure. So yes, Neeson, Donnie here to the rescue. Yeah, I've got a bomb knife, and I'm going to stab you with it. Hence why he was unrecognizable and all mangled up, as we heard from previously. Specifically a firework as well, which is a fun little change and a fun little, a metaphor. A shining spark in the darkness, maybe. Anyway. Now back in 1930 with Ennis and Barnes and Quartez and stuff, seeing, the request to murder Barnes, the first question that should come to everybody's mind is how? He's immortal. How do you murder somebody that's immortal? You have to learn the soul-sucking technique here of Quartez. That's what we need to learn here. And just while we're here with the, blink and you'll miss it reveals, Ennis the homunculus, that gets confirmed. It was heavily implied by the letter that, was being read by Isaac and Miria and stuff, even if they didn't understand it at the time. Essentially telling Ennis not to make decisions on her own, not to take initiative. Hey, you're a homunculus that I created, I own you. We're clearly setting up here something by which Ennis is going to attain a little bit more independence from Quartez, right? And gain her own personality and will and stuff. It's going to be great. It's going to be heaps of fun. You ought to be able to kill someone without a trace of hesitation, almost becoming inhuman. I want you to become more and more like a tool that I can just use. Yeah, this is where we get into a little bit more of the really fun thematic stuff in the show, right? Again, what does it mean to be human and all those kind of questions, and, death uniting us, and us all being scared of death and fighting against it so very hard. Here we're talking about, again, us just being able to completely absorb Barnes's experiences and Barnes's entire life and kind of spread that information willy-nilly. I have the ability to do that through my powers, right? It almost creates a disposability of everybody but himself, right? If I can just extract from a person and not need to learn that information organically, then again, you start valuing humans less. It's no wonder that you've started to trust people less and have started to become very isolated and very elitist about all this kind of stuff. It's only natural based on, how disposable everybody is to you. If you can suck somebody up and learn all their life's secrets and stuff and everything that they're, useful for, and your closest kind of compatriot is a homunculus, you've probably got a bit of an ego problem, just a touch. It probably indicates that. Now, this is going to be a pull, and I'm pretty sure nobody's going to know what I'm talking about, but if you've played the Golden Idol games, or at least the first one, it's kind of similar here. I don't know, there's a lot of similar things going on with what the idol does and what's happening here, and it all turns very culty by the very end in a cool way. Cool game. You guys should play that game. It's fun. It's kind of terrifying too. His teeth get all very sharp. He loses all the fluid out of his limbs and stuff. It's pretty graphic. He can also disseminate this information to whoever he wishes, or maybe this is just a homunculus thing. Who knows? Ennis, some bloke was looking for you. His name was Firo. We saw that before. And we'll also get a little bit of an indicator about Dallas here too. That should put us on for the rest of this kind of side of things, right? From here, we then follow Firo and his initiation process. Clearly, again, there's more to do here. Back in 1931, back with Gustavo, and he's apologizing to his boss for not making any inroads with the whole Dallas Genoward thing. Now, something I wanted to check here, before I even do the rest of this scene, is the other person in the room here. Do we ever come back here? Yeah. You're the senator, right? Let me just confirm that. It's certainly looking that way, for sure, for sure. Hang on, let me check. Blue eyes here, blue eyes. Do we get another closer shot of old mate here, or not really? Blue eyes, yeah. He looks different in every single shot that I see him in. The other indicator would be maybe the room that we're in is very similar. because like we're kind of lit with candles and lamps here and whatnot. And as we move over here, it's quite similar. It's hard to say. It's a blonde guy. Maybe it's the senator. Let's say it's the senator. Anyway, it's important to note here because he's the one pulling like all the strings. We want to know where Dallas is because it'll influence our immortality stuff, and the senator wants the immortality stuff. Everybody's grabbing for the same kind of inhuman power, right? Like we're all united in our own ability to want to use this stuff for our, selfish gains and stuff, and circumvent the one thing that unites us all, right? I think it's very interesting that there's a lot of stuff about bombs as well, and movement of weapons and whatnot, and that's kind of the cover up because it's the same thing, right? It's it's all a big kind of arms race to get this one thing that's going to shift the power balance, much like a bomb, much like a weapon of war or something. So a pretty clear look at the chain of command here. We have the Runarada boss guy here. He puts the phone down. Gustavo was just kind of, hung through the ringer. He's like, really scared and stuff. And then, yeah, he's angry enough after that to throw, what is this, an ashtray at these two guys that failed to get information from the Daily Days. It's like, I'll take it, and I'll be like, yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss, and then turn around and put that same wrath onto the people below me. Say some things about hierarchy, some things about class happening here. Where do criminals sit on the hierarchy of society as well? Is it all trickling down to these low-level criminals? Like, yeah. Society, all that kind of stuff. So his cronies got no information out of the Daily Days, but he knows that they're hiding something, so Gustavo's going to go back and try to extract more information. This guy here freaks me out. I don't know about Inspector Gadget. He's doing something. He's like eating something or playing with something in the back. He's freaking me out. It's clearly something that the show wants you to notice, so we'll keep an eye on Inspector Gadget, maybe. Like, look at him. He's center fucking stage there, man. That's crazy. Now here, conversation between Runarata boss and senator. How is it that a common juvenile delinquent has an immortal body? Apparently he got his hands on the unfinished product. He's invulnerable to physical wounds, but as for aging, the clock's still ticking. Therefore, no perpetual youth. What we are pursuing is complicated, inscrutable, and dubious. But if I can get my hands on it, I am promised unprecedented happiness. For that, I don't mind losing my soul. Yeah. I thought, I thought his angle was going to be, I promise, that happiness. I'm going to be the bearer of that as a new leader, as this senator, right? But no, he has promised something by somebody else to get this, which means there's another level even above this, maybe. Maybe, again, in this time and place, you've maybe been contracted by Cortez and whatnot. Again, just spitballing, throwing some stuff out there. He also name-checks Huey Lafayette there as well. We need to get the jump on him, so he's already immortal. He's got his whole gang. It's almost like we're going to be rivaling Huey. There's some fun transition shots here as we move towards the underground Fierro Martillo stuff. So there's an introductory shot there to the restaurant, Alver, and then sitting there, underneath it all is where we're doing this kind of thing going on. It's like, okay, like it literally is the seedy underbelly. It's like a normal establishment up the top, but if you go down a couple levels, they're doing like literal, like a mafia cult type stuff. Either way, this is pretty self-explanatory. It's Fierro's initiation, the stuff that we were talking about with Miser in the hat store the other day. Well, the same day, I guess. I guess you could say a theme in this episode and across a lot of the show is these characters making conscious decisions pretty constantly to step out of their normalcy and into something a little bit insane and a little bit crazy, right? And morally dubious. You have everybody doing this immortality thing. You have Fierro, who, by their own admission, could have a pretty successful life just being a normal person. No, he's taking this step to, further ingratiate himself into the mafia and stuff. It's just interesting because on the other side of it, you have Jacuzzi striving for something very human and wanting to save people and stuff. There's a big spectrum between the characters in the show, and it's interesting to see where people are landing on it. The initiation little pledge here is pretty intense too. Like, will you kill your father if he, takes one of us? Yeah, I will. You have one limb over here in prison, one over here in the criminal underworld, one you know, you're being stretched all over the place with this new role, basically. And it's pretty intense. I do like this moment here. It's kind of like cutting through all the ceremony and the bullshit to say, hey, Pharaoh, on a level, I know you. I think you could do plenty well for yourself in legitimate ways. Do you still want to pursue this? And again, the kind of candle in the middle of the table here is a nice touch too. It wavers slightly every now and again, but stays on regardless. The candle is Pharaoh. He's adamant in wanting to stay in this role. And yeah, therefore you must show us your resolve. A knife is kind of pledged into the table here. There will be a knife fight with Miser later on. After that, we have Isaac rallying the troops and trying to rescue people. So they're marching off that way. They're going to save the day. Jacuzzi's going to try to save the day, apparently. We're all trying to save the day from, like, the two sets of evil people on the train. And there's also a fucking ghost outside. We mustn't forget that at all. The senator's wife here is a little bit tragic. She's like, okay, Sess, Mary, you go off that way. You know, find somewhere safe to hide. I'm sure Dad will save us. It's like, she doesn't know? She mustn't know. That's crazy. I do like the comparison between the way that she's treated by the Lemurs here and treated by the white suit guys earlier. Lad was basically just like, once we murder all the black suit guys, you're next. You are getting murdered. Where again, at least the Lemurs have a little bit more class and, you know, a few more qualifiers. Hey, your safety and the safety of everybody else on the train here completely depends on the response we get from your husband and the government. So we're putting a lot of faith in that guy. At least there's a reason behind the murders, maybe. Like, there's a reason behind what we're doing, rather than Lad, who's pretty sparse in that department. Either way, back here at the Daily Days, we have Gustavo here trying to push the envelope a little bit. We do the whole thing where we pull out the guns and then pull out the guns, but, you know, we've got the upper hand a little bit this time. We didn't get jumped. We're the ones that pulled our guns too. Oh, this is a great moment. So, once again, we have this guy. Name escapes me. There's this moment here. After he gets grabbed by Gustavo, right, it's like, you have to tell me where Dallas Genoward is. You kind of saw it there briefly. Let me try and pause on it. Hang on. It's like, I don't know any more than I told you guys earlier. And then a little look away and a little smirk to himself. No, I know a little bit more. And again, it certainly has been implied to me by my boss that, hey, it's connected to this immortality thing. And yeah, there's a little bit more that I know that I'm not telling you. And yeah, the facial expression gets that across quite well. Either way, the piece of information we go with here to tell Gustavo is that the Gondors are also after him. And this is where this guy gets a little bit scummy. Gustavo here is like, okay, well, how the hell are we going to beat the Gondors here, right? We get the in. It's Eve. Eve, the girl that visited us before, she's very close with Dallas, at least thinks very highly of him. You'd imagine it's, you know, mutual. If you get Eve, then you have a method to get Dallas. Essentially, we've sicked one party on the other. But again, it's not a scumbag move. You're literally just doing your job. It's an information exchange. You get stuff from one person by providing them something. You learn things, and then you pass that on to the next person, and you kind of benefit financially every single cycle. Like, that's how it's kind of going. That's the whole job. Oh yeah, this knife fight was pretty cool. By cool, I mean pretty well animated. Kind of off of what I was talking about very early in the video, that this show's just kind of merely okay animation-wise. It's a cool fight. I forgot about this. I kind of knew that Pharaoh was going to win. One, because I know that he's, you know, he makes it basically. And two, he hasn't lost a fight in the show. He's pretty good when it comes to hand-to-hand combat and fighting and stuff. Probably the best in the show. Like, and again, Miser's no slouch, but he's also gotten complacent being all immortal and stuff. Yeah, this stuff's like really cool animation-wise. A lot of cool camera work. Love that kind of pan there. It is very quick though. We just kind of give him a cut on the wrist and then it's all over. And there we have it. Miser thanks him, and yeah, no more cut. Again, we kind of already knew this. He was, you know, in cahoots with Cortez, but has since left. That broke his trust. Yeah, there's a connection there for sure. There we have it. New Camarista, the birth of a new capo. Fire a salute. Guns in the air. Firo did his little job. Ennis is still en route. Remember that. And yeah, we're trying to find Dallas still. What are trying to find Dallas at two different kind of time periods now too? Like, Dallas has the juice and Ennis is going to be after him, right? So like, Still finding Dallas. It's all about Dallas. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. You fire the gun in the air, and then Miria's like, "Oh my god, Isaac has been killed." So I wonder if we go upstairs, and then Annis is there, and Firo's there, and Miser's there, and that's when that whole gang gets together. Maybe, I don't know, because it seems that Isaac and Miria were just eating in that restaurant and just happened to be caught in the crossfire. Anyway, it's an important thing to remember that Isaac's been shot in that fucking timeline and time period back there. Oh yes, back on the Flying Pussyfoot now. There's a little bit of tension there where we think that this guy might find, you know, Mary and Sez and stuff, but instead he focuses on this open window and the lady in the army fatigues that escaped through it earlier on. She becomes number one target, number one priority. I guess if anybody escapes the hostage situation, they could be calling for help, and then that obviously is trouble. Yeah, I mean, look at her go. She's fucking pretty athletic, man. Shanae sees her briefly here, or maybe thinks about it. It seems that there may be something here between these two. So once again, she's climbing around outside the train, doing all sorts of stuff, crazy stuff. We get communication from Goose here that there's somebody kind of crazy on the outside of the train, right? This guy goes for a smoke, he hears a yell, he comes outside, and one of your mates is just gone. I turned around for 2 seconds and he disappeared. And yeah, I mean, yeah, like, I was bearing the lead there because I knew it was coming, but like, crazy fucking shit's happening out here, man. I don't. It's like some Fern Gully smoke monster type stuff. I don't want anything to do with that. That's just craziness. Anyway, that's our final kind of bit of the episode there. Kind of smoke is being associated with it a lot. That's kind of a crazy face too. The zoom out on the screams, fantastic stuff too. And yeah, what's next on Baccano? It's really stumped me. Okay, so what are our jumping off points? There's still the stuff in 1930 with Isaac getting shot and Miria and Ennis and Firo and them all meeting and stuff. Dallas has the juice. We've known that for a long time. Cortez wants the juice back to give to his guys, but also we know that he doesn't trust anybody, so what's his endgame there too? Dunno. On the Flying Pussyfoot itself, we have Lad doing Lad things. He's going around killing, having a gay old time. Jacuzzi Splot wants to save everybody, as does Isaac and Miria in that time period. At that same point, we have Eve looking for Dallas still. Old mate at Daily Days sold her out, so Gustavo's in there. The Senator's involved. The Runeradas are involved. It's all still a big power grab for that immortality stuff, I think. Huey Lafayette, we mustn't forget, too. And then we mustn't forget Gustav and Carol as well in all of this, my favorite characters. So yeah, I mean, like, lots to consider, for sure. But yeah, we'll leave that there. Thank you for watching here today. Obviously, next week's will be up there on Patreon already. If you're watching this publicly, you could like the video, you could subscribe. I'd be especially grateful. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Ciao. Bye-bye.